They expect us to do great things in our lives. I hope no one is depending on me for that. In fact, I feel entirely inadequate to live up to those expectations. But when Mr. Dunnigan was breathing down my neck to get on with writing this speech, I realized that there are already Admiral Mystery Project. Alex Duckworth has won 8 gold keys in the Scholastic Art Awards, and Ben Heron set a new school record in the 3200 this spring. These stand out, but for me, so do some events that no one would necessarily ever know about. What will stay with me always from my years at St. Andrews are acts of kindness from other people and the friendships I have made. The day I returned to school after an extended illness, Emma McNeil saw me through the window of a classroom, bolted out of the door in the middle of the teacher's lecture, gave me a huge hug, and told me how glad she was that I was back. It really meant a lot to me that she didn't pretend like nothing ever happened, but instead just told me how happy she was to see me. I feel immense gratitude to my AP Chemistry lab partner for covering up a plethora of errors. Broken beakers, burned rags, a precipitate fished out of the sink with my hands. Actually, everyone in the class probably owes their lives to the vigilance of my lab partner. Oh, Dr. Stribling, what you never knew. This past January, on a freezing cold night, as I ran down the soccer field playing one of my last home games ever, I looked up in the stands to see Ankita, Kim, and Neha huddled in a blanket. Even though I am sure none of them are very interested in soccer, they had come out to see me play and cheer for me on senior night, and having fans made me play harder than ever. After the game, the 4 of us went out to dinner together and vowed to go to some event for each person in our extended friend group by the end of senior year. Though I did not make it to all of the piano recitals, senior ballet performances, or to a single powerlifting meet, I did my best to fit in what I could. Which leads me back to the feeling of being overwhelmed by those alumni speakers. I think we can be successful in important ways without being well known, ever. Albert Einstein once said, "Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value." Now, as an Episcopalian, I believe that every person automatically gets that value status. So if we think of being successful as being valuable, we're already in pretty good shape. But my question to my classmates, and most of all to myself, is to whom or what will you choose to be valuable? This kind of success does not have to wait until we are more grown up, or until we have achieved some career milestone, or until we have found ourselves. We become ourselves with everything we do in our lives, and an important part of who we are is the kind and supportive acts that we choose to impart on others. One of my heroes is the late Osceola McCarty, an African-American woman who was born in Mississippi in 1908. Miss McCarty dropped out of school in the 6th grade to care for her sick aunt and to take up the aunt's work as a washerwoman. Scrubbing her laundry by hand on a rug board all day long and then ironing until 11 o'clock at night, Miss McCarty loved the hard work. "Hard work gives your life meaning," she said. "Everyone needs to work hard at something to feel good about themselves. Every job can be done well, and every day has its satisfactions. If you want to feel proud of yourself, you've got to do things you can be proud of." Miss McCarty's extraordinary work ethic lasted until she finally retired at age 86. Living frugally and walking everywhere, Miss McCarty had managed to save $280,000 from the coins and dollar bills with which she was paid. Setting aside just enough to live on for the remainder of her life, Miss McCarty donated $150,000 to the University of Southern Mississippi to fund scholarships for deserving African-American women so they would be able to get the education she never had. When asked why she didn't spend the money she'd saved on herself, Miss McCarty answered that, thanks to the satisfaction of giving, quote, "I am spending it on myself." Miss McCarty's selfless actions inspired others in the local area to more than triple her endowment, and CNN mogul Ted Turner decided to donate $1 billion to charity after hearing her story. He explained, "If that little woman can give away everything she all find out when we share in each other's lives. That we can derive as much joy from the successes of others as we do from our own. The gift Miss McCarty gave to the University of Southern Mississippi represented her life's work. We can choose how we want to be valuable, starting now. Think about what a difference it has made when someone was simply nice to you. I remember Ariel Thornton's mom cheering for me at cross country louder than anyone I've ever heard. Miss Heinzman keeping her homemade lunch warm for me while I finished my AP biology exam. Alex Good immediately looking up the price of a train ticket from Boston to Providence when I told her I was going to college near her. I have spent a lot of time studying the last 4 years, and I know the years immediately following will involve more of the same. As most of you know, my long-term goal is to be a physician, but along the way, there will be many opportunities to be of value to others. I just need to recognize that they are in front of me every day and take the time to act on them. My former Latin teacher, Mrs. Good, reminded me that the valedictory speech is the farewell speech, one of saying goodbye and bidding the listeners a successful journey. So to the St. Andrews community, on behalf of the class of 2016, I bid you farewell, wish you well, and thank you, friends, faculty, and family, for your impact on my life.